up? How's it going?
How we doing? Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. We've been talking about this for a while. Sam and I actually did an interview a couple months ago after he hit like a few 10K months, or maybe it was like your first 10K month. And I
hmm
never posted it. And then he's been ripping recently. So I figured we might as well just make a new interview
Yeah.
and talk about how things have been going. So, Sam, do you mind just giving a little bit of background on before you started shop? I know you've told the story a million times and you're probably tired of it, but do you mind just giving some background before we get into, this past month, $25,000 profit? Like, where'd you
Yeah.
start?
Yeah. So before like these past couple of months, and when I first started shop, it was about 9 months ago. So I was out of college for like a year and a half and couldn't find a job. And that was because like I just didn't do what I needed to do in college. I didn't make the connections and I was getting good grades, but yeah, the connections weren't there and I
Well, you
didn't.
still had good grades and a degree and you couldn't get a job.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Because the
that's not
market
fully
was.
on you. That's a tough market.
Yeah, but there's a lot of in my control that I didn't take advantage of. So, yeah, I think after, graduating, I just worked at my gym job. I've been there for like 5 years and it was a good job, just didn't pay that well. So, slowly once I was living with my current girlfriend at the time, uh the bills were just going down and yeah, rent was expensive and then I started realizing like, oh shoot, like I'm pretty close. I'm a couple months away from, you know, going broke. And that's when I found TikTok Shop. And I still stumbled upon your page, I think, first. So I was like, wow, the amount of money that you can make on this is unbelievable. So I wasn't sure if it was real or not, but I was like, you know what? I kind of want to give it a shot. So the first like 3 months were really bad. I made like $0 my first month, like five the next, and then like 100 the next. So
So, really quick again, your first month you made $0.
yeah,
Were you posting every day?
no, it's pretty inconsistent.
Okay. Okay. What did that look like?
It was just like whenever I felt like putting a video up, like it wasn't
That's a
even
great
like
way to live, right? I'm gonna do it whenever
yeah,
I feel like it.
yeah, like it was
Exactly
just
how to
like
not do it.
yeah, exactly. So I wasn't taking it too seriously. I was just trying to test the waters and see,
Okay.
you know. But I think when I started taking it seriously was maybe like the fourth month. And that's when I like saw your page and then invest into a mentorship, like invest into your mentorship. That was just
Okay. We started working together your fourth month.
yeah.
Okay.
And that
Okay.
was just like my way of holding myself accountable. I was like, well, you're in it now. Like
Yeah.
you're all in now. You can't back out. So that was just how I viewed it. And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm doing this, I gotta really, really commit. And then yeah, from there, it was just a lot of improvement. It was a lot of just consistency and then improving on, making content and how to sell. And then that just led to the results showing. And then we went from there. So
Okay. What were some of the things that maybe you were struggling with that when you joined helped that you maybe didn't realize? Um, Biggest takeaways, I guess.
yeah, I think it was like the idea of trapping myself in my mind that I was making the best like quality content.
Mm.
And that's a very dangerous mindset because if you're stuck in that mindset, you're never going to improve and
Can
not
you
see
explain
the
that mindset a little bit? So I
yeah.
think a lot of
So
people are in that,
yeah,
right?
there's like a balance between ego and having confidence that you're improving. But I think if it becomes unbalanced where your ego just takes over and you're like, well, I'm making all the right videos, right products, like, and I'm still not getting the results I want. So it's not me that's the problem. But it's
Which
always going to come down to it's always going to come down to you can always do something better. You're not always going to be perfect. You're not going to be um selling what you want if you don't improve every single day. So yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I realized just because of the people like surrounded that I surrounded myself with. And then just always constantly trying to get feedback because you can see your work as good and then someone views it and it might not be good. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
what you did, I think that was like very important in the beginning is you just, and you can tell by the way you just told your story about You were like, hey, I didn't land a job and it was my fault. What is that? That's ownership. You took extreme ownership. You did the same thing, and this is for any affiliate. You have to take extreme ownership. Like you're doing something right. Don't blame TikTok, right? And it's exactly the trap that you're mentioning right now. Is like people are, I'm doing all the right things. It's victim. It's literally just victim. You're obviously not doing all the right things. So how about we just continue to try and figure out what's going wrong? And that's exactly what you did from the beginning. Like immediately, your first few months, like even when you started seeing the results and you hit the 10K month and you hit over 10K in a month, your videos kept getting better. You were just so obsessive on the videos. Before we get into like your past few months, talk about the first time you started to see something blow up and you were like, oh my God, this is real. Like this is actually real. Your first few months you made no money. There was probably a lot of doubt. Like, is this gonna work? Should I quit? It's probably not for me. When did it finally happen and you were like, oh, okay?
Yeah, I think the first product that I got to, kind of sell really well was these baggy sweatpants. And prior to that month, I had made, like, my best month was 1.5K, which was pretty good, but it was promoting a product I didn't really believe in and like. So, yeah, and that 1.5K didn't really feel like that good. But when I made these sweatpants start to sell really well, like I was selling like 100, 200, 300 a day. And the commission was pretty low. It was like $1.15 or something. But still, if you're selling that much, you could hit $100 a day or whatever. And then doing that, like hitting my first like $50, $100 a day, I was like, whoa, like this is sick. And I think I finished that month around 5.1K.
Okay.
So
solid month.
Yeah, it was pretty solid. And I thought it was good. Because like at my gym job, the job I was working like 40 hours a week plus every month, I was making around 2K, a little over 2K. So, I definitely put in less work with those videos, but they were still able to sell more and make me more than, that job, which was crazy.
Once you hit that first 5K month, it probably like opened your eyes a little bit to what was possible.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about doubt. Did the doubt ever fully go away?
No, like
$1,000, $3,000 days now.
Do
you still experience doubt?
Yeah, I wonder, like, am I still able to sell products that I'm going to get in that are new? And it's a lot, not a lot, but there's less doubt because the confidence will keep building as you get better at making content. But I still do have doubt whether, I'm like, oh, can I keep this up?
Mm-hmm.
Or did I just pick the right products and then that's it? But
right, you get lucky.
Yeah. And especially when I first, it doesn't fully go away. You're always gonna, even the top people have doubt sometimes. It's just gonna, it's just who can manage it. And then, I think as long as you take action and try to keep improving, you're not going to keep doubting yourself. So
that's fire. Well, let's talk about the past few months. Like you went from 0, 1.25, and then you kind of went up to like 9, then 7, and then like what were the past few months? And then we'll get into last month.
Yeah, so after that 5.1K, I got to like 7.3 the next month, and then December was 9.4.
That's steady increase. It's not very common.
Yeah, and then the one time it declined was January. It was a 7 point, or it might have been February, but it was like a 7.4. So it went down a little bit. And like there's a little bit of doubt there. I was like, oh man, like it went down, but at the same time, I'm like
keep going down.
Yeah, there was that, but then I also had the opposite mindset that I committed to that instead of letting the doubt sit in. I was like, well, I want to do better now. Like this was a bad month, but it just makes me want to have a better one the next time. So, that's exactly what I did. I hit my first.
Is a bad month is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's how I looked at it too. I was like, you know what? Like you make a little over 2K at your gym job. You just made 7.3 doing this. So after that, though, I hit my first 10K month. I think it was like 12.4 or something. Yeah,
in
around there.
March.
Yeah. Yep. And then
What was that
that
like?
was
Pretty exciting.
yeah, it was very exciting, but also it wasn't what I thought it was. Like I thought I was gonna hit 10K and then like I was gonna be like good, like super happy for the rest of the month. But as soon as I hit that, one day I felt great. The next I was like, well, what now? Like I want more. And that's what everyone with the mindset of just wanting to make money is going to think with TikTok Shop. Because if you don't have the other goals or drive towards what what you want to do with that money, or just goals rather
Yeah.
than just hitting that milestone, you're gonna feel like a almost like a feeling of emptiness with it. So
Pretty crazy.
yeah,
Pretty
as
crazy.
soon as that happened, like I felt that feeling. I'm like, okay, this is not right. Like I definitely took the wrong approach trying to get here. I need to think of a way fast to kind of put myself back on track to keep creating, because you can't just stop.
Well, good for
So
you.
yeah.
Most people never get off that hedonic treadmill of like needing more and more and more and more.
Yeah. Like obviously I want more, but
of course you do.
I have these goals that align with, if I make more, then it aligns with the goals that I set out, like what I want to do with the money, like travel, spend, those trips with my parents, take friends on vacation, whatever, like doing little things like that, giving back helps with, okay, if I hit this milestone, I'm not just trying to hit that milestone. I have other goals aligned with it, which helps.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you because most people never, you're very early on in your journey of making a lot of money to be like realizing that quick and being like, okay, I know for a fact that I do want to hit a 50K month and I do want to hit a 100K month, but I'm not going to feel fulfilled. So what are the things that are actually important to me for everybody that's a little bit different? And how about we keep the focus on that rather than the dollar sign?
Yeah, exactly.
And this is like, for us to be saying this, it's very easy for people to hear it and be like, oh, well, they've made a lot of money, so it's easy to say it now. I get it. But I think you have to experience it in your own terms. But
yeah, it's just part of the process.
That already.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you hit 12K, and then what happened that next month? And then explain why you think it happened.
Yeah, so the next month, so the 12K was my best month, and I was super happy about that. And I was like, well, I just set a little goal. I was like, if I can just get over 10K a month, that would be sick. But I'm still going to try as hard as I can to improve as much as I can in a short time frame. So I did what I was doing the whole time in the process of getting better from $0 to that 10K month, 12.4, which was just studying other creators that are still doing better than me, because there's always going to be someone doing something better than you. So if I can take what they're doing better and incorporate it into my style, my content, I'm going to get better at least 1% a day. So that's exactly what I did. And, I just kept improving, studying the game, and enjoying the process. And that next month, I got like 2 products to start going viral. And then I hit over $25,000 that month. So I doubled my best month. And I didn't even expect that to happen. It just happened. Like it changed just like that. I was projecting like a 10K month. Then one video just got 7 million views, and now I'm projected at 20K, and then I finished over 25K. So
$25,000 in a month is a lot of money, dude. That is more than you would have made in a year at your gym job.
Yeah.
Year. Like
yeah,
that's absurd, dude.
Yeah, my dad put that in perspective to me. Like I'm pretty close with my parents about TikTok Shop, so he put that into perspective to me, and it was pretty crazy to even think about, and it's so hard to grasp it. Like it doesn't. I don't think it'll ever feel real completely. With you can make this amount of money versus like in a month versus what you could make in a year at your current job, which is just
people are literally making that in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absurd. Give some takeaways from hitting 20, because at one point you were the kid who like thought all the online money stuff like there's no way, it's not for you, and now you're on the other side right now, talking to other people who are probably watching this, who are in your shoes that you were in like a year ago, thinking, I need to figure something out. I need to make money. And now you're the guy. What is that? Is that like crazy?
Yeah, I mean, like I say this a lot, but like on my personal brand account, like 8 months ago, I was in my car and I was praying that, an opportunity would come up.
Hmm.
And then when it did, like when I saw TikTok Shop, I was like, can I do this? Is this even possible? I'm just a normal person. I I don't know how to promote product. I don't know how to sell. I don't have any sales background. Do you have to know like things to do that? And all it really is just putting in the effort to learn that stuff if you have no experience. And how obsessed can you get over, you know, doing this? Like if you treat it like a 9 to 5, you really put in the work, and yes, it's going to be hard, but so is going to your actual 9 to 5. So
Mhm.
you have to have that drive and just feel like you can do it. Because if you have that doubt, you put people on a pedestal that are doing these numbers right now. They started exactly where I started, exactly where, the people that don't know if they can do it started.
Yep.
It was just that they became so delusional that they could get to these numbers, or maybe they still didn't think it was possible. Because I didn't think it was possible when I hit a 25K month. In the process of doing that, I was like, I don't think I can do this. I don't really know if this is going to happen if I hit like X amount this month. It just happened. Like as I kept putting my head down and studying products, improving my quality of content, the results just kept coming. And I wasn't thinking about, oh, I hope I hit this month.
Mhm.
That was in the back of my head. It wasn't the priority. The priority was just doing what's working and not losing yourself through the process. Just stick to what you've been doing that's working.
That's a very important point. I think what you mentioned, like you had doubt going into that 25K month or during the 25K month. You don't have to, this is kind of like Hormozy, Chris Williamson-ish. You don't have to wake up in the morning, every single morning, look yourself in the mirror, do positive affirmations, do breath work, and, meditate on the fact that you're going to make 100 grand this month. Like, do those things help? Depends on the person. Like, I personally like doing some woo-woo type things. Some people don't, but it doesn't matter if you do the work. If you don't do the work, you're not going to get the results. If you do, you could. You can have doubt and fear, still do the work and still get the results. In midst of you can have the fear and still get the results as long as you do the work. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like can we talk about like your obsession a little bit? You were just talking about how important it is to be obsessed over videos. All you have to do is focus on the work. Like, what did that look like to you? How'd you get to the point where you were what does that obsession look like for you? What is a day-to-day basis? Like, what are you doing to get better as a creator? And like, how obsessive are you over little things?
Yeah, a lot of it was, sacrifices, like what you're doing in your normal day. It's not going to be your normal day anymore if you want to make this work. So everyone's situation is different, but this is how I handled it. Sometimes I would go to work at 5 a.m. and get off at 12 or noon, work out for an hour, come home. From like 1 to 10 p.m. I'm studying, learning how to make higher quality content. I'm making the videos, and, they weren't good at first. The editing wasn't good at first. So doing that enough times, it's tiring, of course, but, in my head, I was like, eventually this is going to be worth it. There was a few days, obviously the doubt set in, but I was still showing up and still putting in the same amount of effort. Some days I had 10% to give. That was my 100% of effort in that day.
Mhm.
Some days I had 90%. Some days I actually had 100% to give. And yeah, I sacrificed a lot. I didn't really hang out with friends. I could have gone back to playing video games with my friends, and instead I put in the hours to get better. And yeah, it was a lot. And sure, I lost a few things or connections and all that, but still, like to this day, huh?
Think it was worth it?
Yeah, I was going to say to this day, like where I am right now, I would not regret, and I do not regret what I've done to get to this point, because yeah, I mean, this is what I prayed about 9 months ago in my car. So,
I think one of my biggest takeaways from this is just how much you took advantage of it and how hard you went. A lot of people are praying for an opportunity similar to how you were, right? 9 months ago. And then they get it. And then they're like, not full head of steam. Like, did they expect it to be easy? TikTok Shop, newsflash, content, TikTok Shop, it's hard. It's very hard. It's not easy, right? I think it's simple, but it's not easy. And so I think a lot of people get in your shoes, they get the opportunity, and then they just half-ass it.
Yeah.
What's the point of half-assing it? So I'm very, literally from the moment you started, I'm very proud of like the way you just every single day, like I don't even know if you realize how hard you worked. It's probably just happened so quick, and now you're like, oh my God, now it's like 9 months in. Like, you didn't miss a day. And not only just getting videos up, but like also studying content, getting on every single call, asking for help as much as possible, like just taking full advantage. People just don't do that.
Yeah.
They just give up so easy.
Yeah. Like I was looking at my phone screen time.
It's probably
because it is crazy. It's like on average, I average 13 hours a day on my phone, but I guarantee like 12 hours of that screen time a day is like productive work. It's like either product research, editing, uploading, just doing something like podcasts. Like that's how obsessed. Like if I'm up like 17 hours in a day, 12 of them are being put towards at least something productive towards, getting better at shop, learning other stuff to improve. And but if you look at a normal person's phone and you see that screen time, everyone's thinking, oh, they're just addicted to whatever. But
yeah. What a world we live in, man. That you can just like the thing in your hand can just change your entire life.
Yeah.
I guess we can kind of wrap it up a little bit. What are some things maybe that you feel like we're missing that, maybe there's somebody who's hitting the 5K months and they want to scale to like the 10, 15, 20, like there's no secret sauce, but like, what do you maybe wish you knew when you were kind of at those lower months, like really, really, really trying to scale, that you didn't know?
I think that the biggest thing is not putting the people above you that are making more on a pedestal, and instead thinking that you are just as capable as making that amount that they're making. You just aren't at that process yet of, maybe that level of content, that mindset. So as long as you have the mindset that, okay, 1% better every day will get me to that point eventually, you might get there sooner, you might get there later, but at least you aren't going to just be stagnant and not improve at all. Because once you're at that point, you can become complacent. And then people that are making, like if you're making 5K a month from this, that's great. But people become complacent and then they quit because they just either settled or ran into that plateau. And it's about how you can get out. So if you always have a mindset of how am I going to get out of this, it's just problem solving. You can really make absurd amount of money. And I think that with my journey, I'm not even near where I can get. So that's my mindset right now. 25K like is unreal, but I know that I can do better and I know that I want to do better. So, that's
let's end it with that. What's your this is typically how I end them. What's your goal? You just hit a 25K month. It is May 2026. What's your goal for the rest of this year? Is there a number for a month? Like that's a pretty fun goal to make. Do you have a number in mind for a month you want to hit?
Yeah, so the number I want to hit is 100K in a month, and then I want to be.
I was hoping you weren't going to say 50 and you were going to say 100.
Yeah, and I want to be a top 10 affiliate.
I love it. I love it.
Whatever that, if it's with clothing, that would be awesome because clothing is so hard to get up top with. But whatever it is, I don't care. I just want to be a top 10 affiliate. So
well, it's going to happen, and I'm excited to be a part of the journey when it does happen. And we should hop back on once you hit that 100 months.
Yeah, that'd be insane. That'd be sick.
Anything you feel like we're missing, or you feel like it's good?
No, I think that mindset. 80% of TikTok Shop is mindset. So if you can get better every day by 1% at least, and not settle, become complacent, always look to improve, you're going to eventually win. There's no time frame. Don't set a time frame of when you want to succeed with this, because
Yep.
that's only if you don't hit it in that time frame, you're going to fall into that trap of complacency. So that's
Yep.
all it is. It's just constantly improving and enjoy the process. That's the most important thing. Because if you don't enjoy it, what's the difference between your 9 to 5 and this? It's the same thing. You're not going to be happy.
I agree. I love it. Well, thanks, Sam. I appreciate it. We can put Sam's, he documents his journey. We can put his socials down below. And see you guys in the next video. Peace out.